There you go. This is why I'm doing this, because I am doing a little co-working session here with you guys. So what we'll do is, can you hear me now? Let me know if you can hear me. Hey, Snappy Skills, how you doing? Hey, Sean Locke, how you doing, man? You all right? Good to see you again. So yeah, so I'm doing this little session here, guys, to basically, I'm working and you're working too. So I'll work on my stuff, you work on your stuff. So it's a little focus session where we can use the Pomodoro timer to work together. So what we can do is we'll use a timer here as our break point, and then during the break, you guys can ask questions, yeah, you guys can get your questions answered. Because I know many of you guys watching are struggling with procrastination, and sometimes it's quite boring working on your own. So you can have me on in the background, and I'll be here working on my thing. You can work on your thing, and we can push forward together. Okay. Sean, if you're there, can you hear me okay now? Is my audio okay? I was muted before. Also, the reason I'm doing this here is because I'm actually testing this software. I'm using a software called Restream.io. And I want to test it just to make sure it works okay. So if you can hear me okay, Locke, let me know. Oh, yeah. So today what I'm working on is I am busy writing. I've got two guides to write for next month when I'm releasing those for a brand new product I created, and I'll be busy writing those, and you can work on whatever you're working on. Okay. And so what I'll be doing is I'll be working on those guides. It's about 8,000 words each, give or take. So I need to find out what I'm going to call them, what topic I'm doing it on. I need to basically sort of plan them. I need to scalp out the outline, figure out what I'm including, do some research, and so on. So that's what I'll be doing in the next 2 hours. Writing those guides, it does take quite a long time, obviously. So I'll be doing that over the next like 3-4 days, just getting that done and dusted in small little chunks here and there. So yeah, guys. So I'll start working. Okay. So if you have any questions, fire in the chat, and during the break, I'll come back and I'll answer anyone who's got anything to ask me. Let me just quickly flip the screen here. So yeah, so I'll just start ahead here with the first 25-minute session. I'll go ahead and mute myself, okay? You go ahead and put on some music or whatever you need, and we'll start working, okay? All right, guys. So coming up to the first. So I'll stick on a 5-minute break here. Yes. So yeah, if you have any questions at all, guys, fire away in the chat, and it means I can give you guys a quick answer, as it were. You can stretch your legs, go and get a glass of water, get a joint, whatever you need, beer, wine, and then you can come back to work in 5 minutes. Okay. Olive says, any tips about business planning for next year? Well, if you're following Tao and my training, then the simple plan is just to follow the Tao training, okay? Because it's all there week by week by week. And I think the biggest sort of planning you can do is to look back on your last year and try not to repeat the same mistakes as this year. Because most people literally live the same month or the same week again and again and again and again and again all year round. And then they have a bit of a flurry around about January time, or it's Christmas, when everyone does that. And then the next week they go back and doing exactly the same thing again and again and again, and they wonder why nothing changes. So look at your last year, Olive, and think, what did I do wrong last year? And this year, just don't do that again. But if you're following Tao training inside Tao, then it's all planned out for you week by week by week by week. So that is your plan, right? And so yeah, so I hope that helps. So yeah, so I think Sverre, you mentioned something earlier in the chat here. I saw. So Sverre mentioned earlier on in the chat here, he mentioned that he's just finished the action plan and the niche selection, and it was very uncomplicated, which is good. But you mentioned that you like the analogy where I spoke about your niche is like, or your business is like a car, okay, and your niche, you don't have to have the perfect niche to go from A to B, okay. So people, when choosing a niche, they almost always overthink it to death, and I mean to the point where they convince themselves the niche is wrong or bad, because that's easier than actually doing the niche. Okay, so understand that if you are picking a niche, on like a more extreme example, you can literally pick a random niche out of a hat that you've never seen before, you have no idea about, you've never researched. Pick a random niche out of a hat. And if you dedicate 1 year to that niche, you will become an expert in that niche, and you will move forward drastically faster than the person who's still researching the perfect niche, okay? Because the perfect niche just doesn't really exist. For obviously more experienced marketers, yes, it does. But if you're brand spanking new, the amount of mistakes you're going to make, regardless of the niche, means that there is no such thing as a perfect niche, okay? So if you are currently stuck on choosing a niche and so on, use some common sense, obviously. Follow my training inside Tao, but then obviously at some point, just shut up and pick one and go, because standing still means that nothing is going to happen, literally nothing, right? So yeah. But I can see there are a few watching on YouTube. So if you are here, say hello in the chat, guys. This is live. This is not recording. So I'm not AI, right? You can see, right, because of my receding hairline, my crooked teeth. This is not AI. So say hello in chat. It's always good to see where you're from. Bring out all the lurkers out there. Sverre says, I've been working on finding a niche for years, literally. Yeah, paralysis by analysis. Yeah, exactly. So in that sense, we are all our own worst enemies, because, we do it voluntarily, right? So, and don't forget, like, your niche is not the number one niche for life. So people often forget that you're not going to be in the same niche forever. It will change. You will change. You grow. You develop. Just like, with your career, the chances of you having one single job for life and never ever changing, never being promoted, never diverging to a different department is almost zero, okay? So the same with the niche, is you're not supposed to have the one niche forever and ever and ever. So again, don't overthink it. Just follow the basic training online, whether it's my training or somebody else's, because it does vary if it's like e-commerce or blogging or YouTube, right? But then just pick one that makes sense to you, and then just freaking go, and just don't look back. It's that simple, really. So So yeah, but guys, the break is over, so we're gonna go back to work here, and we'll dive back in again. So any questions, guys, fire away, and I'll see you all yeah, in about 25 minutes. Here we go. Start again, and off we go. Norston, how do you, man? From Ireland. Good to see you, man. Right, let's get back in again, guys. Tell if you want to tell me, guys, in chat what you're working on. You know, what are you working on? What are you doing right now? Okay, guys, so second break is coming up, so I'll flip this over here to a short break and hit start. And yeah, so please say in the chat, guys, where you're from, where you're watching from. That'd be good. So I've got a couple of questions here. Guarantee today says, Guarantee today says, I want to clarify my vision of what my company is about to help people break free from the 9 to 5. And that it is about personal development, mind shift, poverty consciousness to prosperity consciousness. So, yeah, so Guarantee today, that's quite, it's a tricky niche, right? Because obviously it's very subjective, in terms of who, what, where, when. Like, who are we speaking to? Who are we speaking to? Are we speaking to men, women? Are we speaking to corporate people? To just regular, 9 to 5ers working in an office? Are you speaking to, who are you speaking to? That's the main thing. So if you try and speak to everybody, you speak to nobody. So the first thing I would say, depending on where you are in your journey, focus in on exactly who you're speaking to. Because personal development and like mindset shifts is very, very vague, is very broad. So I would first think, who exactly am I talking to? Okay. And then after that, depending on how you're doing it, if you're using paid ads or paid ads or free traffic, just start making content. Okay. If it's free content, then just use YouTube or whatever to create content. And if it's with paid ads, just start making ads. Okay, you have to get the reps in to actually run stuff and the skill set to make landing pages, emails, funnels, and so on. Okay, but the first thing is just make sure you have a very, very clear idea of who your audience is, not a general idea, because that's a bit too vague in my opinion. Sana says, I'm watching from India. I'm in the 9th grade. Cool. And never too early to start building a business. If you're looking at it right now, then that's a very good sign, Sana, because it means that by the time you're in 20s and 30s, you'll be fine. Just keep working at the thing you're doing, right? I believe I saw a question here from LockCH. He says, I have Tao, the Marketing Academy, and Tao, the 7 Step Action Plan. Which one to start? So basically, you start, Sean, or Locke, sorry, you start in the 7 Step Action Plan, okay? Because that precedes the 6-month blueprint. So you start in 7 steps and then go to 6-month blueprint, okay? It's all detailed in the training. So what I would say, make sure you go into the training and start in the very first lesson. It shows you exactly what to do, okay? Because that way, yeah, it's very clear for you. Northton, Ireland, good to see you, man. How you doing? Sverre says, in the first steps, you talk about tools and monthly expenses. You say there are YouTube SEO tools. He goes on to say, I understand what they are as I use to blog. My question is, how useful are they? So you have, like, for YouTube, you have vidIQ and TubeBuddy, and loads of others, but those are the main two. They've been around for a long, long time, and it's one of the things, right? I don't use it in training because you don't actually need them, okay? Later on, once you have more data and you have more content, then yeah, it can be helpful to find new ideas. It can be helpful to split test stuff. It can be helpful just to develop. But in the beginning, honestly, it's more about just getting the reps in, because otherwise what happens is people will put in a keyword into an AI tool, and then because it shows 0 search, they don't make the video. When in actual fact, if you look at how YouTube operates, yes, it does use keywords, of course, but it also uses the transcript. It uses the overall essence of the video. And so you can upload videos randomly and get traffic. You don't have to use AI tools. But if you have a certain niche, then of course using keyword tools, or not AI tools, using keyword SEO tools, if you have a very certain niche, then the keywords kind of make themselves. So if you follow my training, Sverre, then you'll be on the right path. You can certainly use AI SEO tools for YouTube. Totally cool. But don't get so anal about it that you have to use them, because you will end up convincing yourself certain keywords. Safari goes on to say, so if you're on tight budget, you don't need, yeah, basically, if you're on tight budget, you don't need TubeBuddy or vidIQ. But to be honest, they're very cheap. They have the free version. I'm not quite sure how much it costs, the low version, but I think it's like sort of $10 a month. So they're very affordable, put it that way. Okay. Yeah, I don't think I see any more questions right now. Sana mentioned how to build discipline and consistency. If you want a very simple tip, Sana, for building discipline and consistency, because they go hand in hand, give yourself fewer options. Okay. The classic thing, I'm guilty of this as well. I do this a lot. It's like a daily routine. Start saying no. Say no to everything apart from one idea, one entity, one thing. I see this every day, all day, in small local businesses and online, where people will try and do everything. They want to do blogging, they want to do YouTube, they want to do AI marketing, they want to become an AI agency, they want to do this and this and this and this. And then, of course, you only have so much time in a day. So one thing, if you want to learn how to build discipline and motivation and consistency, and just, yeah, to have fewer options. By eliminating options, the discipline and motivation becomes easy, because you have no sort of saturation of your daily focus, and that helps you stay disciplined. So that's the main thing, Sana. So it's very hard, because obviously in this new AI world, there are new tools every 15 minutes, right? But yeah, just try and say no and stick to one thing, because that way you maintain your momentum, as it were. Okay. And so, yeah, so the break is over, and let's dive back in again and do another 25 minutes of work. If you have any questions, fire in the chat. And of course, please do let me know in the chat, guys, where you're from, where you're watching from. Yeah, just keep pushing forward. If you're watching on Facebook, I'm also on YouTube, okay? And yeah, start another 25 minutes. Yep, there we go. Okay, guys, so with the next break coming up, what I'll do is I'll just pop on the break here, and I'll go through some of your questions and comments. G Cube, make money. Hey man, how you doing? Good to see you. Sana mentions, why is the Pomodoro technique considered useful for studying? And does it really help me remember more? It's not so much about remembering, it's just about being focused on one thing for 25 minutes. So it's like 25 minutes on and 5 minutes off, or 10 minutes on, 10 minutes off. You can choose whichever time you set. But the idea is to basically just focus for those 25 and then have the break, step up, walk away, stop working, and then go back at it. It takes a bit of practice, but it really does work. It does work. And so yeah, Sverre says, can you talk about thumbnails? Some people say they are very important, and how much time should I spend on them? Yes, thumbnails are very important. Thumbnails, title. Think of it this way, Sverre. It's the first thing they see. So before they even know what your video is about, right? That's what this is: thumbnail and the title. Okay. So think of it like the title is for YouTube. The thumbnail is for the user. So the thumbnail sells the emotion, the outcome, the potential, whereas the title sells what is it actually about. Okay. And also right now, obviously, because of AI and all the algorithm stuffs, YouTube also reads the thumbnail. So it can scan the thumbnail and understand what that is and what it says, right? So they both work hand in hand. But just think of it as the case of it sells your video, basically. So yes, they're very important. It depends on the content you're making. If you're doing like how-to videos, like I show you inside Tao, then they're less important in the beginning, because if someone searches for how to do something and they see a video called how to do something, it's like very clear. So in the beginning for you, if you're doing Tao, it's not that important, but you want to get good at it pretty quickly, so you don't spend too much time down the wrong path. And Sverre says, same question for editing. Editing can easily become a massive rabbit hole. So again, because you're doing screen recordings, editing is minimal. Okay, it's just like cut. It's just like cutting out mistakes and so on. That's why I always tell everyone ever who come to me, if you're a YouTuber, for the first 20, 30, 40, 50 videos, stay off camera as long as you can. Mainly because you want to learn the fundamentals of making a video, not worrying about if your hair is correct or worrying about the lighting. It just doesn't matter. Especially for my strategy inside Tao. If you want to be a YouTuber, if you want to be like an on-camera YouTuber, then yes, you have to be on camera. Yes, you have to learn editing, but that's obviously a much higher skill set. That's why the strategy inside Tao is so awesome, because it's just simple and fast, right? That you're not on camera, minimal editing, and so on. So it means that you can simply start actually just making videos instead of just faffing around for 6 months trying to learn some stupid editing tool where you have no views, right? And so, yeah. Sana says, what is the most difficult part when starting a business? How long have you got? I can talk about that for about 4 hours. In essence, if I were to boil it down for my audience, for inside Tao, the number one difficulty is just focusing in on one thing and being patient enough to sticking at it long enough to seeing it grow. Because patience is just, people are so impatient that they cannot wait more than a week before they want to see traffic, leads, and sales. When it just doesn't work that way. In the same way, if you started a new business tomorrow doing anything, you would never expect to make money on day one, right? Yet when people come online, they somehow just expect that to happen. So, Sana, the most difficult thing, literally, patience, discipline, the mentality of understanding business, understanding cash flow, understanding just how business works in any sense, right? The mindset and the skill set to actually implement, the ability to get up every day and do it even when you don't want to, the ability to learn new tools, software, the ability to understand funnels, the ability to understand just literally everything. The list goes on and on and on. But just start with one thing, keep it simple. That's the key, right? But unfortunately, most people will try and do 50 steps at a time and wonder why it feels so hard. So just start small, start simple, and just become obsessed with the thing you're doing, right? And yeah, quick shout out to Andre Goja. How you doing, man? Long time no see. Yeah, man, you should definitely try the Pomodoro thing. I'm doing this here to try and get people involved, just to have some fun, really. So yeah, by the way, the break is over, guys. So we'll head back in here now for our, I think this is our last one. Is our last one? Yeah. Christ, it's almost been 2 hours already. It goes so fast. Yeah, so I'm going to head back in here again now and keep pushing forward with this last one, and we'll have one last Q&A at the end. And so yeah, guys, if you're watching here, I can see there are still people watching on YouTube. Where are you watching from? Let me know in the chat, guys. This is a Pomodoro thing, so I'm working on my thing here. I'm in the process of creating 2 guides that I'm going to be releasing soon. And you know, they're long, but sort of 8, 10, 13,000 words long each. So right now I'm planning, I'm brainstorming, I'm just getting loads of ideas down, and then I'm going to start putting all together probably tomorrow. So yes, I'm doing my thing, you're doing your thing. If you let me know in the chat, guys, what are you working on right now? What are you doing right now? Write in the chat. And then we can have a discussion at the end. And any questions, let me know. But for now, guys, I'll pop myself on mute and I'll go back to work. Okay, see you in 25 minutes. Okay, guys. So that's it. We are done and dusted. The Pomodoro thing is done. So that was a fast 2 hours, if you ask me. If you enjoyed that, let me know in chat. There's only a few of you watching, which is totally fine. This is a very last-minute impromptu thing. There was a quick little comment here from Sverre and from G-Cube. And effectively comes down to focusing on one thing, right? And basically having the discipline to stick into one thing, and just, not overcomplicating things, right? And the thing is, what G-Cube says here, the sad part is to focus on one thing is stupidly simple, right? Yeah, that's the problem, right? Everyone knows that focusing on one thing is very simple, is very straightforward, is very, exactly that. But the problem is, it's boring. Okay, the truth is, sitting here like this for 2 hours, right, and working on one thing, I've now outlined just one guide, not two. I've outlined one guide in 2 hours, right? I'm now ready to start writing. Doing that again and again and again, it's boring. It's friction, because your brain wants excitement. It wants fun, right? And so typically, if you go and open the fridge to eat when you're not hungry, you're just bored. If you turn on TV or check your phone every 30 seconds, you're just bored, right? So the key is for you to say no. Like, if you haven't got discipline to put this freaking phone in a different room or have it on silent, then you're not going to make it, right? If you haven't got the discipline to not open your emails for the next 4 hours so you can focus on the work, you're not going to make it, right? Because all these distractions are invited. You voluntarily pick up your phone. You voluntarily do X, Y, and Z, right? But of course, we're all human. I get distracted every day by something at some point, for sure, 100%. But what I'm better at than most, in terms of, because I teach beginners, what I'm better at than most is the fact that I will quickly snap out of it and get back to work. Okay, I have bad days, good days, but for the most part, for most of the time, I get back to work pretty quickly. Okay, and so when it comes down to it, focusing on one thing, it is, as you see on screen here, it is very simple. But the problem is, people just don't want to. They don't want it hard enough. Okay, because if you really, 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 really want to build a business that brings in traffic, leads, and sales, and recurring income, and passive income, right, and all that stuff, then what will stop you? Nothing, right? But if you just say, I kind of, sort of, maybe want to do it, then all that's going to happen is, the second this thing vibrates and you voluntarily have it on vibrate, you pick it up and get distracted. That's by choice. If you don't really want it, then the second the sun comes out, you'll go, oh, it's a sunny day, I'm going to go for a walk now, right? Even though you're in the middle of doing something, right? And so it really comes down to your own desire to really, really want it. So yeah, but anyway, guys, thanks for being here. Thanks for being on this this session here. I'm going to do more of these because I've actually been quite productive, despite chatting to you guys and having a few chats and so on. I've actually been quite focused and done quite a lot, which is good. So if it's good for me, then I'll keep doing it. So I'll definitely do this again very, very soon. Yeah, if this was helpful, let me know in the chat. Let me know in comments below. You can also reply to the email that brought you here to this video if you have any questions or anything at all. I'm always here to help you out. So yeah, Sverre, thank you, man, for hanging out. Design Success Lab, good to see you, man. Yeah, good to see you're still here, pushing forward. So yeah, guys, all I can say is thanks for being here. And yeah, I'm now going to go and watch Liverpool play football. One really good thing about being in Thailand right now is that for only like £30 for the year, I get to watch all the football games, because in the UK, they don't televise the football games that start at sort of 3 p.m. or 4 p.m. or whatever. So in the UK, you actually miss a lot of the games, whereas here I can watch all of them. So it's very, very good. So yeah, guaranteed today. Thanks for hanging out. Sverre, thanks for hanging out. G-Cube, thanks. Yeah, thanks to everyone else who popped in and said hello. And yeah, guys, have a good night and speak soon. Okay.